Hi everyone, welcome to this GCSE Foundation revision video. There's just over a week to go into your first paper, so keep up the hard work, you're doing fantastically well. And today we're going to be focusing on the topic of money. So we're going to be looking at questions such as regular payments or discounts and things like that. So in this question, I'm going to go through a few different questions for you to try. Feel free to pause the video and try those questions as well. So let's get started.
Hi, today we're going to look at money and we're going to look at questions involving money. So if you go to Corbettmaths.com and you go to the videos and worksheets section and you scroll down to the bottom, around about video 400, actually it's like 400A, 400B, 400C and so on, there's loads of videos on money there. So I go through video tutorials on loads of different things that involve money, for instance regular payments, VAT, bank accounts, change, things like that, reading meters, things like that. And also beside them there's practice questions as well, so you can practice all of those topics. Now in terms of this video, what I've done is I've chosen 6 money questions, so the 6 questions based on money, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show each question, I'm going to get you to pause and to try it, and then I'll go through them. Okay, so let's have a look at our first question. So our first question says, a shop sells pencils for 40 pence each, and we've been asked to work out the greatest number of pencils that can be bought for £9. So we want to find out the greatest number of pencils that can be bought for £9. So press pause now and work this out. Okay, so one approach would be actually to write down the multiples of 40. So 1 pencil would cost 40p, 2 pencils 80p, 3 pencils £1.20, £1.60, £2, £2.40, £2.80, £3.20, £3.60, £4. As you can see, this is quite time consuming. £4.40, £4.80, £5.20, £5.60, £6, £6.40, £6.80, £7.20, £7.60, £8, £8.40, £8.80, and we can't buy another one. We've only got £9. We can't buy the next one, which is £9.20, so we can't buy that. So how many pencils can be bought for £9? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 22 pencils can be bought for £9. So let's write that down, 22. So that's one approach that we could have used in that question. Now that was quite time consuming. Actually, it's a little bit risky, because if we had made a mistake here, the amount of times I've seen a student, whenever they use an approach like this, for instance, instead of writing 360, if they wrote 380 there, they just made one little mistake, then all of these would be wrong and so on. So that's one approach that could be used. And also £9 is quite a low amount of money. What if it was £71? We wouldn't want to spend that amount of time. We haven't got that amount of time in an exam to do that. Now, as I said, this is a non-calculator question, so another approach we could have used is to use division. So £9 is 900 pence. So we could take our 900 pence and we could divide it by 40, and we could use the bus shelter method. So we can say how many 40s go into 9? 0, remainder 9. How many 40s go into 90? That's going to be 2. 2 40s is 80, so it's going to be 2, remainder 10. And then how many 40s go into 100? That's going to be 2, that's 80. And then we've got a remainder of 20. So that means we can buy 22 pencils and we've got 20p left over. And let's just check that. If we bought 22 pencils, we would have 20p left over. Now the question says how many pencils can be bought for £9? The answer would be 22, and that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So our next question says, Tegan buys a sandwich and a drink for £7.24, and she pays with a £10 note and receives exactly 5 coins change. List the coins. So press pause now and list the coins that Tegan would have received in her change. Okay, so to this, what we're going to do is work out how much change she would receive. So let's start with the £10 she's got, so £10, and we're going to take away £7.24. So let's do that. So take away 0, take away 4, we're going to need to borrow. There's nothing to borrow from, so we're going to need to borrow from here. So that's now 10. Cross that off. That's now 9 and 10. Cross that off. That's now 9 and 10. So we've got 10 take away 4. That's equal to 6. 9 take away 2 is equal to 7. And 9 take away 7 is equal to 2. So she receives £2.76 change. So £2.76 change. So that's how much change Tegan receives. Now she receives 5 coins in her change. So let's list down what coins they would be. So she could get a £2 coin. She could receive a 50p. A 20p, so that's going to be £2.70, £2.70, 20, 50 and 20, that's £2.70. There's 2 more coins, so that'll be a 5p and a 1p. So they're the 5 coins you'd receive. A £2 coin, a 50p, a 20p, a 5p and a 1p. And let's just check that, £2.76, and that's it. And if you got that, well done. Okay, so let's have a look at our next question. Now, this is a calculator question, so money questions can appear in both papers, the calculator papers and the non-calculator papers, so it's not always just non-calculator. So we've got 20 donuts in a tray, so there's 20 donuts in a tray, and each tray costs £10. Charlotte buys 8 trays of donuts. She sells 110 of the donuts for 90p each and sells the rest of them for half price. And then the question says, work out how much profit Charlotte made. So this is on profit. If you need any extra help on profit, if you go to corbettmaths.com and go to those main videos and worksheets spreadsheet's page. If you scroll down to video 400, then there'll be profit there somewhere. Okay, so here we've got this question. Press pause and give it a shot now. Okay, so if I was in this question, the first thing, we want to work out how much profit she makes. So I'm going to start off by working out how much money she spent. She bought 8 trays of donuts for £10 each. So 8 multiplied by £10 is equal to £80. So that means she spends £80 on the donuts. Now, in terms of the donuts, she sells 110 of them and the rest of them. Well, how many donuts does she buy? She buys 8 trays and there's 20 donuts in each tray. So 8 multiplied by 20 is equal to 160. So she buys 160 donuts altogether. So she buys 160 donuts and she sells 110 of them for 90p. So if we do 110 multiplied by 90p, now remember this is a calculator paper, so you can do that on your calculator, and that's equal to £99. Then we're told she sells the rest of them at half price. So if she sells 110 of them, she bought 160 altogether, so that means there's 50 left over. So there's 50 left over. She sells them for half price. Half of 90p is 45p. So we need to do 50 times 45p. So 50 multiplied by 45p, or 0.45, is equal to £22.50, £22.50. So we now know how much money Charlotte made for selling them. So if we add them together, if we do £22.50 plus 99, that's equal to £121.50p. She bought them for £80, so to find out how much profit Charlotte made, we just need to do £121.50, take away £80, and that's equal to, if we take away £80, £41.50, so £41.50p. So that's how much profit Charlotte made, and that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. It's on regular payments, so feel free to go to Corbettmaths and revise regular payments if you need to. So we're told that a holiday costs £1,670. Lorenzo pays a deposit of £250. He then pays the rest of the money in 8 equal monthly payments. Work out how much each of those monthly payments are. So press pause now and work that out. Okay, so we're going to take the amount of money the holiday is, the £1,670, and we're going to take away the deposit, which is £250. And whenever we do that, we get that's equal to £1,420. I should have said this is a calculator paper, so you can do that on your calculator. Now we're told that he pays that amount in 8 equal monthly payments. So if we just divide this by 8, that'll tell us how much each of those payments are. So if we take the £1,420 and divide that by 8, that's equal to £177.50p. So that's how much each one of the monthly payments is, £177.50p. And that's it. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question. Okay, so our next question is about Tim, who's selling cupcakes, flapjacks and donuts to raise money for charity. He sells 87 cupcakes at 80p. He sells 62 flapjacks at £1.50, and he sells 44 donuts. And in total, he raised £211 for charity. Work out how much money Tim sold each donut for. Okay, so feel free to press pause now and work this out. Okay, so in terms of this question, what I want to do is I want to see how much money he made for selling the cupcakes. I want to see how much money he made for selling the flapjacks. So let's do that to begin with. So I'm going to do 87 multiplied by 80p, and that's equal to £69.60p. So he made £69.60p for selling the cupcakes. That's for the cupcakes. Okay, in terms of the flapjacks, he sold 62 of them at £1.50 each. So again, we can do this on our calculator. So for selling the 62 flapjacks, he received £93. And then in terms of the donuts, now he sold 44 of those, and altogether he made £211. So let's add these together to see how much money he made for selling the cupcakes and the flapjacks, and then we can take it away to see how much money he made from the donuts. So whenever we do 93 plus £69.60, that's equal to £162.60p. Now, if we take that away from £211, if we do 211, take away £162.60p, that's how much money he made from the donuts. So 211 take away £162.60p is equal to £48.40p. So that's how much money he made from selling all 44 donuts. Now we want to work out how much money he sold each donut for, so we need to take the £48.40p and divide that by 44, and that'll tell us how much money he sold each donut for. So when we divide that, we get that's equal to £1.10p, and that's it. So he sold each donut for £1.10p, and if you got that, well done. Okay, let's have a look at our last question. So Jasmine buys 6 kilograms of apples and 5 kilograms of oranges, so she's buying some apples and oranges, and the total price is £28.20. And the apples cost £2.70 per kilogram, and we've been asked to work out the cost of 1 kilogram of oranges. So this is a question based on cost per kilogram, and there's videos and questions there on Corbettmaths for that. So if you want to revise cost per kilogram, then you can have a look at those questions. Okay, so we've got this question, so press pause now and give this question a shot. Okay, so in terms of this question, well, we know that she buys 6 kilograms of apples, and each kilogram of apples costs £2.70. So if we take the £2.70 and we multiply that by 6, that'll be how much she spends on apples. So £2.70, and again, this is a calculator question, multiplied by 6 is equal to £16.20. So that means that she spent £16.20 on apples. Now, if we have a look at the question, we're asked to find the cost of 1 kilogram of oranges. So let's take the £16.20 away from the total price. So let's take the £28.20 and take away £16.20, and that's equal to £12. So that means she spent £12 on oranges. Now that's £12 for 5 kilograms of oranges. We want to find the cost for 1 kilogram of oranges, so we just need to divide this by 5. So £12 divided by 5 is equal to £2.40. So that means the oranges cost £2.40 per kilogram, and that's it. And if you got that, well done.
And that's it. So in this video, we've gone through a few different money type questions. I really hope you found it useful. Now, money is a topic that does come up quite a bit on the GCSE Foundation papers, so I'd highly recommend that you're confident with these. And I'm going to put a link to a few different videos and practice questions in the description below, so give those a try today. We'll also make sure that whenever you're dealing with money, if you get an answer, for instance, such as 4.5, you remember to write it as £4.50 and things like that. So keep up the hard work. It's just over a week to go. You're doing fantastically well, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. Cheers. Bye.